Well, tonight we're getting a closer look at the technology that watches the skies across eastern Iowa and the rest of the country. The United States has used radar to do that for almost 70 years now, but there are gaps in the coverage, and that can make it tough to get the full picture on particular weather events. WeatherFirst Meteorologist Garrett Heyd is getting a look at the progress on filling those gaps in this Iowa's News Now special report.
Two tornadoes that affected Gilmore City and Humboldt County, and one of them damaged our home. And not being able to have the weather radar warnings at that point in time was a little bit spooky.
Well, certainly we want to catch them all, and that would be the goal. But the technology just it's radar. It's a limitation of radar.
And radar is one of our biggest tools, especially during severe weather. But there are parts of the country where that coverage is certainly lacking. The National Weather Service has an extensive network of nearly 159 radars across the country, but despite that,
we do have these blind spots. And in your particular area there, to the north and west of Cedar Rapids, we have one of those very instances where we have somewhat poor low-level coverage. And this is important because a lot of impactful weather, as you know, happens at these lower levels. And when you miss that, that can be a problem as it relates to public safety.
These gaps are simply just a product of how radar works. And while the radar dish rotates, it sends out a pulse of energy and waits for a return, repeating this process around 1,300 times each second. After that, the radar dish is tilted up a little bit more and then starts this process all over again. By the time the radar beam is nearly 50 miles away, the lowest part of the storm that can be viewed is around 5,000 feet off the ground. Then 100 miles out, the beam is now nearly 13,000 feet, which can be as much as halfway up a thunderstorm.
In terms of the stronger tornadoes, most of those are detected and warned. Because they're coming from bigger storms, and we can see that in the mid-levels. It's the smaller ones and the weaker ones where there's a tendency and the bigger concern that they might get missed in those low levels.
And even those weaker tornadoes can still cause damage and threaten lives. And after Bissell's own experiences, he and 31 other emergency managers across northern Iowa came together and created a plan to help address this gap.
Where we really took this on and we brought in the legislators, federal legislators, to have sit-down talk with them to help see, is there a possibility of putting in new radars? What would the costs be? What do we need to do?
That answer came in the form of Climate Vision, a company that has already put up around 24 radars in other parts of the country where these radar gaps exist.
And I think it's been very successful so far, and look forward to kind of finishing off the long-term view of this and deploying upwards of 200 across the country to solve this problem, to help improve real-time monitoring of weather.
They're looking to put up, free of cost, weather radars in Black Hawk County and Pocahontas County. And they're also going to put one in Keister, Minnesota that will basically cover this gap from 3 different locations. Again, this is going to be free to the taxpayers, no charge whatsoever. They take care of all of the upkeep of these radars.
And these radars are projected to be put in place by this summer to aid in the warning process during the severe weather season.
Are these weather radars going to eliminate the damage that is caused or the potential loss of life? No. There are some events that just occur, and they unfortunately there are people that are in the paths of some of these, but as long as we can get them more information sooner, the better. And that's what these radars will help us do.
I'm meteorologist Garrett Heyd with Iowa's News Now.